Epic Boons are a new kind of feat that was introduced with 5.5e, and they're meant to represent the pinnacle of power, the penultimate level of which you can achieve before literally hitting max level in D&D, along with being potential rewards for various quests at high level to engage in post level 20 play. They also represent a chance to solidify your character in the concept, and I think they're all, for the most part, kind of rubbish. There are some standouts here and there, but for the vast majority of them, I think they're not better than standard feats, and I think that's a real shame. So today, I'm gonna see if my assumptions are correct by going through them all and ranking them in my very first tier list. Yay, tier list. There are 41 of these, including the Player's Handbook, the Heroes of Faerun, and the Grim Hollow one, which we'll be going through last. So we should probably get into it. My name is Jason, this is Dungeon Himbo, where apparently I've started making tier lists. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. A big thank you to my YouTube members, my Patreon members, and if you want to discuss any of this with me, feel free to join the Discord. There will be a link in the description. Now then, we have a lot to get through, so let's get to it, shall we? First, we should probably go over the rankings here. We've got S, B, C, D, standard stuff, right? But I have given them a little bit of flair because of my Knuff hoodie, which I'm not wearing at the moment because it's yet another heat wave. S is more than Knuff, which means very, very good. A is Knuff for some because it's good for specific builds. B is just Knuff, they're kind of fine. C is not Knuff because they're not fine, they're bad. And then D is who is this for? I did not want to taint the word Knuff with the lowest ranking ones, so I haven't. That's it, really. We will go through this feat by feat. I feel like there's probably a better place for me. Maybe I should put myself on the top right. I'll leave myself here for now. If we do more tier lists in the future, I'll figure it out. Our first one today is Boon of the Blazing Dawn. This is from Astarion's Book of Hungers, so it's alongside the Heroes of Faerun ones. You can boost any ability by one of your choice, which is always nice. All of these should really be doing this, but hey. It grants immunity to radiant damage, which can be handy if you're in a celestial heavy campaign. Anytime you hit a creature with a weapon, you can make it normal or radiant, which is niche because there's not that many vulnerabilities in D&D, but it can turn off some regeneration. If you take this into a Strahd campaign, you are laughing. Speaking of Strahd campaign, once per turn when you hit a creature with radiant damage, you can cause a light to appear, which is 30 feet of bright light, 30 feet of dim light, and that light is considered sunlight. This is basically the vampire killing feat, so if your character concept is entirely about that, then that's really good. Otherwise, that sunlight thing is completely useless. I am going to rank this as B. It is just Knuff, in my opinion. It's fine, it's powerful, but it is preposterously niche. And I don't even think it's niche for specific character builds. It's niche for specific character settings. And I don't think that's great design, personally. Next is the Epic Boon of Bloodshed. I like the word boon, it's fun to say. This also lets you boost any ability score by 1. If a creature is reduced to 0 hit points, you have advantage on your next attack roll until the end of your next turn. And once per turn, if you hit a creature which is bloodied, you can deal extra damage equal to your proficiency bonus, which is going to be 6, given the level that these are generally given out. Well, given out, you take them at 19. This is awful, straight up awful. This is substantially worse than Great Weapon Master, and even though it works on every single weapon type, it only works once per turn, and only if the enemy is bloodied. This is, quite frankly, D rank. Who is this for? Not for you, not for me, not for anyone. If any of your friends are considering taking this, and it's their only epic boon, please talk them out of it. Bountiful Health is also from the Forgotten Heroes of the Forgotten Realms of Forgottenness. This lets you boost any ability score once again, and whenever you get temp health, you get an extra 5 temp health. Along with that, whenever you spend 1 or more hit die to regain hit points, you can treat it as though you rolled the maximum number. I don't dislike this. I think this is a little niche, less so than Blazing Dawn. I think if you're running something like Spores Druid or something where you're getting a lot of temp health constantly, then being able to get extra temp health on top of that is actually pretty solid. It's not a lot of temp health, you're not doubling it, but there are also a lot of ways to get temp health these days anyway. And the maximum health die thing is nice if you're short resting or if you've got a few niche feats, so I'm gonna put this in A. Tentatively. I do think it's better than Blazing Dawn, and I think it's more consistent than Blazing Dawn as well on specific builds, but only on specific builds. Next, we have the Boon of Combat Prowess. This is Combat Prowess. This is from the Player's Handbook, and allows you to boost any ability score, and once per turn, if you miss with an attack, you can just hit instead. This is just good all the time, forever, constantly, so I'm putting it in more than Knuff, because I think it's one of the better ones, and it's not especially close. Boon of Communication allows you to boost any of your mental stats, which is Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. I will be shorthanding that to mental stats for the rest of the video if it comes up again. removes disadvantage on influence checks against hostile creatures. You can understand the literal meaning of any language you hear or see, which is useful, and you gain telepathy up to 120 feet. If you are in a social campaign, this could be pretty good, but I don't think it's good enough for A. So I'm going to put it in B. There is part of me that wants to put it in C, but that's the part of me that values numbers above all else. Telepathy is really, really handy. There's no you have to see the creature, you just have telepathy. They don't have to succeed on a save or anything, and being able to understand the literal meaning of all language could be really handy if you're in, if you're trying to convince someone of something, or if you're in a big political campaign. This thing could be an absolute game changer. So I think it's actually pretty good. Actually, I'm going to put it above Blazing Dawn, because I think it's better than that one. Boon of Desperate Resilience is from Heroes of Faerun. Allows you to boost your strength or your con, and while you're bloodied, you gain resistance to all damage apart from force. This is a bad feat. Don't take this feat. This is bad. Just don't take it. If you want damage resistances, you're probably a class that already gets them. Having resistance is nice, but probably healing is better most of the time. I just don't like it. Dimensional travel is next, and it allows us to, after taking the magic or the attack action, teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space of our choice, as well as boost any stat. I actually really like this one. I really like this one on specific builds, but I don't necessarily think it's a good use of your epic boon. It's effectively a free once per turn Misty Step, which isn't bad, but at level 19, you're doing so much. So I'm actually going to put this in C. Above Desperate Resilience, though. Sometimes you need to teleport. Boon of Energy Resilience is next. Resistance is next. This allows you to boost any ability of your choice, and you get to choose from a multitude of different energy types and gain resistance to one of those energy types. And you can actually change that every long rest. Sorry, it's 2 of the types, so it's slightly better. Along with that, you can potentially deal damage to a creature as a reaction if you take damage of that type, which is equal to 2d12 plus your con modifier. In a non-shocking twist, this was bad on Desperate Resilience, and it's worse here, frankly, so I'm going to put this in Who Is This For? I just don't think it's good. I really don't. It's probably better than the Bloodshed one, though. Can I interest you in the Boon of Exquisite Radiance? This is any ability score of your choice, which is, again, good. I need to stop saying which is good. You get it. If you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, it cannot become undead. And when you make a damage roll, which includes radiant damage, you can maximize that radiant damage. You can only do this once per long rest, though, which really limits it. Basically, you get 1 max damage smite, or, fireball if you've managed to change it to radiant damage, which is doable within various D&D things. The once per long rest thing is really rough here. I don't like the idea of once per long rest epic boons, unless it's something like you just come back to life. Something like that, sure. You cast the wish spell once per long rest, sure. Extra spell slot once per long rest, sure. But maximizing your damage once isn't good. So I'm putting this in not enough. Above Desperate Resilience, but not above Dimensional Travel. Boon of Fate, any ability score, and when you or another creature within 60 feet of you succeeds or fails on a d20 test, you can roll 2d4 and apply it as a bonus or a penalty. This doesn't require a reaction, which is nice, but you can only do this once per short or long rest. This is a bad feat. This is just a bad feat. Don't take it. I'm putting it lower than Bloodshed. I think the idea of a Boon of Fate is cool. I think the execution of this one is awful. Boon of Fluid Forms is from the Heroes book. This allows you to boost any of your mental stats, and it allows you to use a magic action to shapeshift into a creature that is a beast, humanoid, or monstrosity with a CR of 10 or lower. It's fairly standard shape change rules, so you get to keep all of your features that you would normally get to keep, including your mental stats. You get temp health equal to the creature's health, which can be an amazing way to get a lot of temp health. If you can cast magic, or you have the packed magic feature, you can still do that too, which means that you can be really quite strong. You can only do this once per long rest, and even though I said previously the once per long rest thing wasn't great, here you're getting a couple hundred temp health, access to completely different abilities, say you become a beholder or something. That's pretty cool. And whenever you gain temp health on shapeshifting from this, you also get an extra 20 health, which makes this just a very cool feat for druids specifically. It's like boosted wild shape, which makes me wonder why they couldn't just allow different creature types for wild shape. But hey, I am going to put this on in A. I think this is enough for some. Next is Boon of Fortitude. This one is any ability score, and it gives you a health bonus of 40 extra max HP, and when you gain health, you can regain health equal to your con mod once per turn. This is solid. If you are a creature who needs a lot of health, this is a good choice. So I'm going to put this at the top of just enough. I don't think it's fantastic. The health is fine, but I don't think it's bad either. Boon of Fortune's Favor allows you to boost any ability score, and when you fail a saving throw, you can choose to re-roll. You have to use the new roll. It's pretty good. It's not an auto succeed, but it is also once per turn, and I think that pushes it into more than enough for me. If you want your offense to be irresistible, then this next one is for you. This lets you boost your strength or dex by 1. Any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage you deal always ignores resistance, which is a lot less common in 5.5e than it used to be. And if you roll a 20 on a d20, not when you crit, so crit modifiers do not affect this, you can add damage equal to the stat modifier that you boosted with this feat. So probably going to be 20, 21. For a lot of creatures, if you're taking a barbarian, it could be 25 or 26. This is just whenever you roll a 20. So if you are an elf and you're going all out on rolling as many d20s as possible and re-rolling them with whatever else it has that you have going on, then this could be pretty good. However, I think both the ignoring the resistances thing and the overall ability is a bit underwhelming unless you can guarantee you're rolling 20s all the time. So I'm going to put this in just enough, although I think it's probably the best of the bunch there. Looming Shadows is from Astarian's Book of Hungers, darling, and it allows you to boost your melee range by 10 feet when you take the attack action on your turn, but only until the end of your turn, and it lets you take a bonus action to dodge. I put this in D. I don't know who this is for. This is a bad feat. Do not take it. Boon of Misty Escape is also from Astarian's Book of Hungers. This one is any of your mental stats up by 1, which is a thing. And basically when you drop to 0 hit points but aren't killed outright, you can automatically cast Gaseous Form on yourself. You can fly away at that point and you regain 10 health at the beginning of each of your turns as long as the spell lasts, which is up to an hour. This is kind of an escape from death, but it's not great because you can't do much as a gas, as it turns out. So it's such a cool flavor one, but it's not enough. It's not enough on the word. Boon of Poison Mastery is actually one of my favorites. This is any ability score of your choice. You get immunity to poison damage and the poisoned condition. And once per turn, when you determine poison damage from an attack, spell, or feature that you have, you can just be maximum damage instead. This is not once per long rest like it was with Radiant. This is just any time you deal poison damage. And while this is niche, this is intensely powerful if you are doing a poison build, and you can ignore resistances too, which there are subclasses out there that let you do that. So this is going to the top of Knuff for some. This is an incredibly powerful feat in the right builds. Next is Boon of Recovery, which is any ability score of your choice. And once per long rest, when you fall to 0 hit points, you can instead fall to 1 hit point and then regain half of your hit point maximum, which is pretty strong. If it was just that, that would already be strong, but it's not just that. You also get a pool of 10 d10s, which you can expend using a bonus action, as many as you want at each time, as far as I can tell per the rules, and you gain all of those back on a long rest, and obviously you gain the hit points rolled on those d10s. So this is a bit like the Boon of Fortitude, but I think it's slightly better. It's also, you're coming back from the dead once as well. So I'm going to put this in A because I think it's pretty strong. It's not just the healing is good. It's the fact that you just get back up once per long rest. And I already said, if a feat let you do that, I'd be here for it. So I'm sticking to it. Boon of Revelry is any of your mental stats. You get Otto's Irresistible Dance prepared, which you can cast for free without components or concentration once per long rest. And if you cast it normally, taking damage can't break your concentration on it either, which is pretty nice. Any creature you target with this gains the Charmed condition and also can't cast spells because they're singing along. This is okay, but the Charmed condition is a little awkward in the end game, so I'm going to put this in C. I love it. I think it's really cool flavor-wise. I just don't think it's very powerful. Okay, we've got 2 Cerberus ones now. The Cerberus Dragon Mark spell lets you choose from different ones depending on your Dragon Mark. I don't think it's good, so I'm putting it in D. The Sorcerer one, however, lets you choose any spell with a level 8 or lower, and you can cast it once per short or long rest without a spell slot or components. An extra level 8 spell is good. A free level 8 spell is better. This thing's absurd. It's preposterously powerful. This is definitely more than enough. Yeah, it's absurdly strong. Borderline broken, actually. Let's put it at the top of S rank, shall we? Boon of Skill is you gain proficiency in all skills. You can choose one to have expertise in, and you can boost any stat of your choice. If you're the kind of character that wants this, you probably should have gone Rogue or Bard, in which case you already have it. I am putting this in D tier. I think this is awful. Awful. I'll put the Cerberus Dragon Mark one up higher though. Boon of Speed is any ability score of your choice. You can take the disengage action as a bonus action, and this specific version of it breaks the grapple condition automatically when you do so, and you gain 30 foot of movement speed. I think this is solid. I think it's just enough. There are builds where speed is the most important thing. Monks generally want it. Rangers are also pretty good with it. But even adding this onto something like a ranger or something, a wizard, for example. If you had a Bladesinger wizard who kept getting grappled, this could be a very tempting proposition. Boon of Spell Recall is any of your mental stats, and when you cast a spell that's between level 1 and 4, you roll a d4, and if you roll the same number on the d4 that the spell is as a level, you don't use the slot up. This gives you a roughly 25% chance of not using your spells up at those levels. And there are some pretty strong ones there, right? 25% chance not to use up your shield. It's quite strong. I'm going to put it in A, just below Fluid Forms. I think it's solid, but only if you have access to really strong early ones. Shield being one of them. Command being a good one. Bless. Things like that. Boon of Terror allows you to boost your charisma by 1, and it lets you frighten stuff. Gives you immunity to the frightened condition, and if a creature is frightened of you, you can force them to make a save and potentially run away from you as fast as they can. It also gives you expertise in intimidation. This is... I'm going to put it in not enough. I was going to put it in who is this for? I'm sure there are fair builds where this is a fun concept. I just don't think it's very good. Boon of the Bright Sun is not the same as the other Radiant Blazing Dawn one we had. This allows you to boost your con, wisdom, or charisma by 1, and it allows you to, at will, make, well, as a bonus action, but at will, make a 30-foot bright light, 30-foot dim light sphere of sunlight around you, and while in this sphere, you and your allies can gain 10 temp health at the start of each of your turns, which is solid. I think this is enough for some. Where do I think this is going, though? Below Fluid Forms? Above Fluid Forms, maybe? This is constant. It's basically the Twilight Domain Cleric, but with sunlight. Oh, it also dispels magical darkness. So, yeah, it's strong. Boon of the Furious Storm is you can boost any of your mental stats. You get resistance to both lightning and thunder, and while bloodied, you have immunity to those. And creatures have disadvantage on your spells, which deal lightning or thunder damage. I do not think this is good. I'm putting it in D. You could certainly argue for C there, and you're welcome to do so. I just don't think it's worthy of an epic boon. Disadvantage on saves, basically, is what you're getting there. And the ability to stand in your own thunderclaps. Storms, lightning bolts, I guess. Which is cool, but niche. Too niche. Way too niche. Boon of the Night Spirit is next. It lets you boost any ability score by 1. While in dim light or darkness, you can gain the invisible condition as a bonus action, which lasts until you take an action, bonus action, or reaction, which means that if you have something like Spirit Guardians up, that won't break it if it does damage. You'll also get resistance to all but psychic and radiant damage while in dim light or darkness, which means this is one of the few ways you can gain resistance to force damage, but you do have to be an edgy little dude to do so. I think this is just enough. Second to last one of the official ones is Boon of the Soul Drinker. This is any ability score, you get resistance to cold and necrotic damage, and when a creature within 120 feet of you is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction to gain 50 health. Once per short or long rest, this is a bad feat. Goodbye. Finally, we have the Boon of True Sight. Any ability score of your choice, and you get True Sight of up to 60 feet. This is cool. I don't think it's enough, so I'm putting it in not enough. So this is all the first party ones. We have, in my rankings, 9 ones that I think are like worth taking, 3 of which are always worth taking, and then the rest are not, with it being weighted towards the bottom at the moment. So let's see if the Grim Hollow ones change that at all, shall we? Boon of Magic Resistance is first. This allows you to boost your intelligence or wisdom by 1. If you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead once per short or long rest. Again, I think once per short or long rest is just a bit naff. I'm going to put this in D. I can't envision a world in which that's the feat I'm taking, you know? Especially when you've got Mage Slayer, which does very similar things, and you can take that at level 4. And it does other stuff too. Boon of Perfect Flight is next. This is Strength or Dex by 1, and it gives you a fly speed of 40 feet, as well as the ability to hover. And if you fall more than 5 feet, it slows down until it's 60 feet per second. So you're a lot less likely to take falling damage. I'm actually going to put this in D again. I'll put it in C. I'll put it in C. You might want Flight, but fly exists. This lets you hover though. Hovering is useful. Shadow Steel Mastery is the Shadow Steel transformation one, which makes it inherently very, very niche. Same with Archlich, Ascended Vampire, and actually all of the other epic feats here. I think these all make great gifts to give your players, but I would never choose them. I know who they're for, but I'm going to put them all in C. I do want to be clear about that. I don't think they're bad at all. I just think they are way too niche to... It's not even enough for some. I do think the enough for some and the S rank ones are still going to be the better choices when you hit your epic boon. These ones are cool to offset some of the downsides of transformations, but I do think they make for perfect rewards at the end of quests and things like that if DMs want to do that. even if a player isn't level 19 yet. But that is it. We did it. We ranked all 41 of the currently available Epic Boons. So that's what that looks like at the moment. I stand by the fact I do not think Epic Boons are good enough to justify their existence most of the time. What do you think? I'd love to know. So let me know how you feel about Epic Boons in general. I just feel like they should all be stronger. Maybe 2 points instead of 1 point, because then at least you're getting an ASI alongside your naff super niche feat that you want for a cool build concept. I'm glad that 9 of them are good enough for me to think S and A rank, but good gravy. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I genuinely am interested if you think I'm being too harsh. Maybe I am. But also, it's the third heat wave of the last 6 weeks, and I'm suffering. So yeah, like and subscribe. I hope you are well and continue to do well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you, and I will catch you whenever it is that I next catch you. Do take care. Goodbye.